Welcome back, everybody. Still here at the PIEA Fall Playoffs, powered by TEC. Central Buck South strikes first and takes map number 1, but there's still lots of Marvel Rivals left to be played. It's Llama77 and Vaudable up here in the booth. And Vaudable, we saw Central Buck South struggle in map number 2, but they dominated in map number 1.
Yeah, they looked really strong throughout the full series that we saw for domination from the first point to the second one. They struggled a little bit, as we were talking about, with Wyoming Valley West towards the end because they pushed off the objective. They said, hey, let's just go keep them in their spawn, get all these elims, but that's not what you want to see. You want to see the team locking it down as best they can, not underestimating their opponents, because that's exactly why they got usurped from the objective for at least a little bit of time. So Wyoming Valley West, if they can catch the other team off guard like they did here, moving on into Central Park as our next map. We'll see if that'll be enough. Again, it is a best of 5, so they do have to win 3 total maps to try and come out on top. There is potential for ties to happen in some of these maps as well. So hopefully we don't have to worry about that, but we'll see what goes down for this one. Central Park's always a really fun one too for Convergence, especially because there's a lot of full holds that happen on that first objective, and that's why you get rid of Penny Parker, because it's very annoying to play against.
And I think especially, it's a tough ban, though, for Wyoming Valley, just because Central Bucks was such a ground-based composition in that map number 1 that, you know, you'd love to have it for yourself, but you definitely don't want them picking it on the other side. So It's kind of interesting to see what they're going to change up here. Obviously, for Wyoming Valley, if they don't win this map, you follow 2, you've got to pull off the reverse sweep, and I love the pick and lock.
Yeah, I like it here. I mean, Iron Fist very strong against some of these tanks that we've seen before. They try to shred them as much as they can, and because of how effective we specifically saw the Quickster going 30-1 on the last map was massive. So we do see a ban onto the Magneto as well. We saw Fireball do what they could on the Mag, so makes sense that you want to get rid of that on their side too. It seems more of like a duelist focus, though, for the bans for Central Buck South.
That's what it seems like. I think that somewhat going for a little bit of those target bans, as you mentioned with the Spider-Man, maybe somewhat a little bit annoying, but also, I mean, Psylocke is just so deadly in today's day and age. You mentioned how ease of access you can get to the backline, and no surprise, the Punisher is going to be their lock. They used it really well in that first map to just deal consistent damage, and I think it's also important to note, because Central Buck South won map number 1, Wyoming Valley West got to choose which map they wanted to go, but that means Central Buck South actually got to choose their side selection, so Central Buck South choosing defense.
Oh, and they missed their protect, but sometimes that is a strategic thing. You don't want to give up your full hand to the other team and have it easier for them to, apparently didn't let him pick, but I guess we'll figure out what goes on for that. It's unfortunate that happens sometimes, but again, got to keep it moving. Hopefully they will lock in a ban for this to go forward instead of a redo as well. But I guess they're just yeah, we could just have them like say it in chat what their save and ban is. That way it's kind of easy on that end. And Black Panther, of course, it's going to be banned there. I feel like they would have saved the Black Panther, though. So really curious on what they're going to opt for in terms of composition. Maybe instead of the Black Panther, they will be prioritizing that Iron Fist. Because, again, more of a dive character. They have a lot more survivability than Black Panther does as well. And very annoying to play against if you don't focus them.
I would tend to agree, and you know, Vaudable, I think it's just so funny that they've added emojis into the Marvel Rivals team chat.
That's great.
That's the best thing ever.
Oh man, tough spot to be in, but they'll have to play through it. No resets here because, again, it would take way too much time for these players to get things going. So it will be Central Buck South on defense. They're looking for a full hold. Don't want to give a single tick of that capture point to Wyoming Valley West. And looking at the lineups here, Llama, I mean, I like the looks from Central Buck South. We do have the Iron Man. That way they can kind of weave in and out around the destroyed buildings in front of the spawn room and just get some poke damage against them and eventually build up that pulse cannon. So we'll see if that's going to be effective against Wyoming Valley West. But they do have the Invis Woman available, so they might get some pushes, some shields, so that they can get rid of that too. Not to worry as much. Butters, though, on the Magic. Really curious how they're going to deal with it.
I think the Magic really adds a bit of long-range burst damage for the team composition, and I think that's really good to deal with M1A2, who has been so solid and just delivering, again, consistent damage, follow-up target acquisition. And for Central Buck South, they could make this a really fast map number 2. You talk about those full holds, Wyoming Valley is already going to lose one. Snapthorn not even missing a beat from map 1 to map 2, taking first blood.
Tough spot to be in, especially if you are Butters. Usually for Magic, more of a flanking character that we've seen before, trying to get into the back line and just do some work against them, but went straight down Main Street and just ate some bullets to the face. So they'll be able to recover at least a little bit, but for now, a good hold from Central Buck South. Liking the group play as well. Group's very effective on this first lane into the capture point. The Exile does make it a bit more effective, but there's the invisible boundary coming out now.
Trying to fight this one, just face checking in. And again, those group walls make it really tough to actually get a good position inside of this unlock. And a first takedown comes through from Central Buck South. It is a big burst of damage from the backline from Fear the Madman, who delivers a blow, but it's only one as the Titans deliver them back in pieces. Wyoming Valley West back to the spawn doors.
IHOP Pancakes wearing the basically pancakes costume there for Invis. So like to see the support for the 1-year anniversary of Marvel Rivals coming up on Saturday, mind you. So to celebrate that, the devs doing all that they can there, but also the players showcasing their holiday spirit as well. But right now, Groot doing what they can. Again, with the updates in Season 5, they're close to their Ironwood wall. They cannot be CC. They are immune to it. So we do see the Strangling Prison coming out. They are going to contain the Vanguards in place and get one elimination, but there comes the ultimates out from Wyoming Valley West, trying to push on the objective, but the wall is blocking their path. They cannot escape their demise for now.
And the tougher part about this is, right now for Central Buck South, they are just delivering them one after another and making it such that they're not having a full team fight. Wyoming Valley West needs to get back to 6 players here. They've only got 90 seconds left to go. They've got the Eye of Agamotto from JJ that could do a ton, and Fear the Madman is trying to get a sidewinding angle, but Iron Man is just dealing with them.
I think the big thing that they should have done early on, if you're having a struggle against a team that's got a full hold like this, is get the portal out of the way. That way you get the cooldown already taken care of, and you at least have a second portal available to you to get onto the point. So now time with it ticking down, they'll only have it as a last-ditch effort to get on the objective, but more ultimates come on through. Goddess of Death comes out, but there's the invisible boundary to counter it out, so they won't really be able to do as much. Yes, they're getting some poke damage, but it's not enough to get an elim on the other side. You see the gravity pull from the side of Wyoming Valley West, just trying to get them out of position and maybe get an elim from it, but the only ones dropping down are Wyoming Valley West. Couple picks though onto Central Buck South, and well, there is the Raging Royal Flush from Blaze to keep them in the fight for now. Extra damage, extra speed, extra everything, but not enough lives for them to hold it down.
A little bit late there on that Eye of Agamotto, just couldn't really catch anybody off guard. It is a lot of burst damage from Snap, who continues to deliver bullets from the skyline, and it is down to just about 15 seconds left to go for Wyoming Valley. What do they do to fight? They can't.
Oh, no.
Two of them get exploded to the ultimate, and the bullets continue to fly. The damage continues to go. The Titans are going to clean this one up.
Trying not to get staggered too much. That's why you see the Invis just kind of walking towards them, but maybe see if they could actually touch the objective. Would have been a better option if they went invisible and then got onto the point. Then they could have procced at least an overtime there, but it's a tough spot for them to find themselves in, right? They thought they had the hold on the capture point after forcing back Central Buck South, but because they didn't eliminate the full team, they're able to regroup and re-advance on it to the objective, and that's where we saw them just fall apart at the seams. Nobody really in the best spot from Wyoming Valley West for a recontest from their opponents. So good looks for Central Buck South. That's why they wanted to play defense first, because now they have the goal and the checkpoint set. They have to get past a little bit past 50%, and they will get the win for map 2 and be one away from making their way to that LAN and the Elite Conference in spring.
And so much on the line with just one series here. And as we said, there's still spring to bounce back for if you lose in playoffs. But if you lose in playoffs, there's no real second chance, no double elimination or anything to really save you. From Central Buck South, they've been dominant from the ground, from the sky, and as you mentioned, they've got a relatively easy objective marker ahead of them. They really only need to capture 2 of those objective markers on the first domination split point, and then they'll be victors here on map 2.
I don't really think they'll be able to hold things down with the composition that we're seeing right now. The Jeff the Shark is decent, especially if you're trying to go for getting some damage on flyers, if you have good accuracy with it for Butters. But we did see them on the Magic before, so maybe if they do have the triple support in their favor, they'll at least be able to stay on the objective, have the res available. They didn't really use the res when we saw them on Domination and swapped off pretty quickly. So the big thing is going to be trying to get those elims onto Central Buck South. We do see the Terrorcape do some good AoE against the other team just to make it so that they're vulnerable at least a little bit more, but it doesn't even get a conversion on their side. Jeff already goes down. There goes 3 players for Wyoming Valley West. This is as quickly as Central Buck South are able to snowball.
Snapthorn is just eating really good here and flies to the sky, delivers a couple more bodies, and they'll take down 1 more even after the res comes through. It is map done. It is Central Buck South moving to 2-0 in the series. They are on series point.
That was a speed run from Central Buck South. It's tough for Wyoming Valley West. So, like, they didn't have the ult charge. Even if they did have the Adam Warlock, they had to build things up. They had to stay alive long enough for them to hold things down. And we saw Butters try to swap off to get back onto the objective a little bit later on, but it just did not prove to be enough for them. So Wyoming Valley West did what they could. Composition maybe not the best on their side, and the lack of eliminations is really what plagues them, and that's what's happened for a lot of teams on these kind of escort the payload maps or try to capture the objective, right? If you cannot get rid of the other team and they're able to just hold things down, regroup, and recontest, then you don't really have any foothold on the objective once you finally capture it, or at least a little bit, as we saw there. So tough fought victory for Central Buck South at the start, and then they closed things down pretty quickly. Wyoming Valley West, I mean, we just need a little bit more of what we saw from the first domination map. If we see that again going into, I think now Convoy for our next map, they'll have a better look at least, but for now it just seems to be an outclassing of opponents.
Yeah, you can definitely tell a little bit of a rank differential. I love that they're still fighting their heart out here, a team that went 4-2 in the regular season. And don't get me wrong, there still is a chance for them to battle back. It just would have to be in reverse sweep format. And, you know, credit to JJ, even though it's only a few eliminations that go their way, they do get back-to-back SVPs leading the team in that category. And I think it's just going to take, like you mentioned, just a little bit more for this team to try and bounce it back. And, you know, there's no real shame because Central Buck South is one of the best, if not the best, team in PIA right now.
Yeah, and it makes sense why they are the best, right? They have a good team composition. They can flex if they really need to. And it doesn't really seem like the other teams can ban against them as well as they would like to, right? Because we've seen a couple bans come out that were targeted, and they're just kind of general bans from the side of Wyoming Valley West. We saw the Invis women, which is always annoying to play against, but if you are a good strategist player, you can play anything. You know, you can pull out the Loki, you can pull out the Luna, you can pull out a Cloak and Dagger, Rocket, or Jeff even. There's so many different options. Not Ultron. Ultron's not as good anymore, unfortunately, in the trash currently. Maybe they'll get rebooted later on. But aside from that, the other strategists, there's so many, and you can't ban them out with only 3 bans available, because then you also nerf yourself, right? And that's the tough thing for even in the collegiate competitions that are out there. If you don't have a wide enough hero pool, then you are severely limited in the compositions that you can play. The other team will know what they can play against you and what to expect going into these maps. So that's always my recommendation for players that are playing at this level, looking to go into collegiate, looking to play in maybe some of the semi-pro scene out there. Learn as many heroes as you can to a decent efficiency. That way you can be as adaptable as possible with your compositions.
Got to be adaptable, and that's what Wyoming Valley West is going to need to do if they want to bounce back here in this series. We're going to take a short break as we prepare for map number 3. Don't go too far. We'll see if the Titans can sweep the series after this.